Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome to the stage the Editor-in-Chief of Drapers, Mr. Eric Musgrave.
Hello, good evening. Welcome to the first official Drapers Awards, but actually the 13th such gathering of you fashion retail greats. I hope that everyone can see the stage clearly and you're not missing that old dinosaur too much. Right, we may be in a new venue with a new look award ceremony, but the aim remains the same as before, which is to have the best party in town, preceded by the best award ceremony in the industry. We're here to recognise outstanding retailers of all complexions, from huge department stores right down to the smallest square footage in the country. We visited stores, and boy did we visit them, throughout the UK and Ireland. The variety is extraordinary, as is the passion. And I heartily congratulate all those who are shortlisted tonight, and I can assure you that securing a place Thank you for that. Securing a place in the final 3 or 4, or in sometimes 5, is an outstanding achievement in itself. We had 2 sessions of judging to get through this lot, one for the independent categories and one for the multiples, and apart from an unscheduled fire alarm with the second one, all went more or less according to schedule. I must now pay tribute to the judging panels who represent the cream of the industry. To be on one of these judging panels, you either have to be a retailer of renown or a past winner, or usually both. So our sincere thanks go to the judges. For the for the independent categories, the judges were Sarah Chiaramonte of Tasha, Giulio Cinque of Giulio, Andrew Clark of Brother to Brother, Richard Clues of Collections Group, Dave Lomax of Bagger, Jeff Pearce of Jeff's of Bold Street, Jan Shutt of Sunday Best, Sarah Tremellon of Bravissimo, and Jane Webb of Jane of Newmarket. And for the multiple categories, they were as follows: Charlie Atherton of Jigsaw, Richard Bradbury of River Island, Brian Brick of SRG, Peter Davies of Rubicon, Rose Foster of Monsoon, Philip Green of Arcadia and BHS, Don McCarthy of Shoe Studio, Philip Mountford of Mossbros, Paul Slater of Slater Menswear, Stephen Sunnocks of New Look, and Michael Ziff of Stylo. Give them a round of applause. They worked hard for their free meal. I couldn't possibly let you loose on your dinner without a round of applause also for those excellent companies who have chosen to be our sponsors this year. So our grateful appreciation goes to Base London, Betty Barclay, Compability, CWF, Enrico International, Enterprise Ireland, Fashion and Retail Personnel, Global Refund, James Lakeland, Olsen UK, Pure, Shoe, 60 UK, SOS, TNT Fashion Group, Tommy Hilfiger, Triumph International, and USC. Come on, a round of applause. Come on, round of applause for them all. Right, finally, I would like to draw your attention to your industry charity, Retail Trust, formerly known as the Cottage Homes. Each year here at this event we raise a significant sum to support them, and we'd like to do the same again this year. All you have to do is attach a £10 note or 2 to the voucher, which you'll find in the envelopes on your tables. Write your name on it, and they'll be collected during dinner. Simple. You'll be entered into a prize draw for £1,000 worth of holiday vouchers, and that draw will take place after coffee. Ladies and gentlemen, dinner is served. Have a great evening. Thank you.
It's now time for the Drapers Awards 2003. Would you please welcome to the stage your host for the evening, Mr. Angus Deaton.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this glittering occasion in beautiful downtown Shepherd's Market. Tonight, a whole host of celebrities sadly couldn't make it, but we do have a bevy of store owners desperate for the publicity who've kindly agreed to help out instead. Now, I think few would argue that the Drapers Awards is the most prestigious award ceremony taking place at the Grosvenor House tonight. Many people I know consider that there are too many award ceremonies these days, but as I was saying, at the National TV Awards this week and the British Meat Awards last week and the Heating and Ventilation Awards the week before that, this is clearly absolute nonsense. Excellence shall ever be rewarded, as I think Shakespeare might have said if he'd ever been invited to an award ceremony. I think it was Oscar Wilde who was imprisoned for sodomy. Sorry, I'm not sure why I said that. Of course, a word or two before we start to those nominees who may not be lucky enough to carry off the coveted prize tonight. Remember, it's not the winning, but the taking the award home at the end of the evening that you really miss out on. I've also been asked to mention that I'm wearing a Tommy Hilfiger suit and tie, but I'm afraid I said no. So let's quite literally push off with our first award of the evening. Here to present it and many others, it is now my honour, privilege and above all contractual obligation to welcome back a great favourite of yours and I hope mine, Eric Musgrave. Right, it says enter Eric on my script, but I think that's just a stage direction.
He did at rehearsal. Right. Thank you, Angus. I said that earlier too. We begin with Best New Store, sponsored by Betty Barclay. This category covers stores that have been open between 1 and 3 years, either a totally new operation or a new development of an existing one. Hope you can follow that. Angus will now tell you which 3 stores made it to the final shortlist.
Yes, he will. For this award, the judges looked for new stores with a fresh, successful and innovative approach to fashion industry and fashion retailing. That's what they looked for. What they found were these 3 finalists. First of all, 11 of Sunderland. A talked about store where the owners make a contribution to the industry rather than just open doors. Would seem a rather waste of their talent, certainly. A High Decline in West London. A specialist concept, it girl orientated and very slick operation with loads of PR. And finally, Layla in North London, which the judges said was a beautiful little lifestyle store crammed with girly delights. And then people say all sorts of things when they're pissed, don't they? To announce our first winner of the evening, please put your hands together and then pull them apart and put them together again to create a sort of clapping sound for the Chief Executive of Betty Barclay UK, Denise Shepherd.
Good evening. Betty Barclay are delighted to announce the best new store is 11.
Heading for the stage are Neil Symington and Stephen Calladine.
Congratulations to Neil and Stephen, described by the judges as very smart operators, and they certainly look it tonight. Okay, award number 2 is sponsored by CWF and is for the... They're sitting over there. And it's for the 2003 kidswear retailer, defined as any business which sells fashion for people aged 0 to 16. Angus?
Yes? Oh, right. Me. The final three are quite literally these. Brats of Birmingham. Better late than never, thank you. I can not only reveal that this was described as a very business-like store with loads of that personal touch that makes a good independent special, but also that I have no idea what that last sentence meant. Secondly, Mischief Makers in Cork, a brave operation run with the clinical efficiency that you might expect from a former nurse. Take your word for it. And lastly, Williams and Griffin in Colchester, which has really gone for it and impressed the judges with its proactive approach to getting kids into a department store. So a masterstroke opening the off licence on the ground floor. Here now to proclaim the victor, CWF's General Manager UK, the very lovely Vincent Ruiz.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of CWF, I'm delighted to announce that the Kidswear Retailer of the Year is Bratz.
Accepting the trophy is Director Tammy Perinci and friend.
Congratulations to Bratz. They may be tucked away at the back of a Birmingham shopping centre, but they advertise and promote themselves brilliantly. Our little eyes light up now at the prospect of the award for Lingerie Retailer of the Year, sponsored by Triumph International. Angus has the details.
Yes, eyes down, look in. The finalists for Lingerie Retailer are Bodas, described as an interesting concept, superbly presented with fabulous marketing. It was the owners who described it that way. Bravissimo, winner of the last 2 years' awards, where the business is as much about celebrating women's figures as it is about selling bras, hence the term Bravissimo, presumably, and figleaves.com, a business which has survived the dot-com boom and whose goal is global underwear domination. So look no further for your global underwear. To spill the beans from Triumph International, please find it in your hearts to welcome their sales and marketing manager, Tony Jarvis.
Thank you. Triumph International is very proud to have sponsored this award since it began 13 years ago. It is therefore with great pleasure that I would like to announce on behalf of Triumph that the winner of the Lingerie Retailer of the Year is, for the 3rd year running, Bravissimo!
On their way here from Bravissimo, Kerry Booth and Joe Lee.
So, a fantastic 3 years in a row for Bravissimo. 3 cheers for them. Right, next we turn the spotlight onto the Independent Young Fashion Retailer of the Year in a category sponsored by 60 UK. People have to stick their necks out to make a business work, and here are 3 prime examples.
Of it, yes. Our first being Drome Women in Liverpool, where Louise Kavanagh gives the impression of always being ahead of the game, blending hot brands with less obviously hot ones. judges clearly on their first creative Chablis by now, by the sounds of it. Next is HIP in Leeds, which has been in business for 15 years, and according to the judges, a lot of people use them as inspiration. And finally, Clays in Kirkwell, Orkney. Thank you for making the journey. This store was described as a superb business where enthusiasm shines through, as we just saw. Here now to give their finest handshake from sponsors 60 UK, their Director of Wholesale, Jason Lynch.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Miss 60 is very proud to sponsor this award for the Independent Young Fashion Retailer for 2003, who is, and this is a really big award, goes to HIP.
Making their way are Umberto Anachini and Everton Campbell.
Congratulations to the cool guys from Leeds. It's nice to see my hometown picking up an award. We're not going to win anything at football this year. Right, from a young fashion retailer, we turn to the first of our new categories, Young Fashion Brand of the Year. It's sponsored by USC, and we vary the procedure slightly. We vary it slightly here with 4 finalists in the running. Angus will tell us which they are.
Yes, first on the short list, or slightly longer list in fact, are Diesel, seen as the coolest of the big denim brands and the fuel behind the fashion denim industry. Then French Connection, a thriving, glad you can make it, a thriving retail business, as you can hear, and a very solid wholesale operation. G-Star, authentic denim with great quality, great styling and great prices. And finally Miss 60, which has captured the imagination of a generation with a sexy and sassy brand, and of course sponsored our last award, not that that'll have any bearing on the result. To tell us which of the Fab Four has been voted top dog, here's USC's menswear buyer Martin Lacey.
Good evening. On behalf of USC, we'd like to present the Young Fashion Brand 2003. And I can't believe looking at this. I mean, in fact, I'm only on the phone to these guys today to cancel 6,000 pairs of jeans. Young Fashion Brand for 2003, Diesel.
On their way are Pan Philippou, Jeremy Smith and Peter Lawley.
Congratulations to the team at Diesel. And now our multiple footsteps lead us to the award for the, wait for it, Multiple Footwear Retailer of the Year, sponsored by Base London. A multiple for the purpose of these awards is defined as a retailer with more than 10 stores or concessions. The names on this shortlist will not surprise any of you.
Other than those of us who still shop at Dulcis. Faith Jews. They've bounced back with real style after the closure of its Arcadia concessions. Secondly, we have Office, where rapid expansion plans are boosting their very consistent, well-positioned business. And thirdly, Shoe. They're seen by the judges as a very exciting environment and extremely well-focused operation. Here on gong duty from Base London, its sales director Mark Husted.
Oh, how John? Moss Bros are on 40 tonight, aren't they? Right, multiple footwear retailer of the year goes to Faith Shoes.
Jacqueline O'Neill and Paul O'Neill.
Retail is all about the art of survival, and for 30 years, after 30 years, Faith have reinvented their business. Well done to them. On that note, let's proceed to the award for the Footwear Brand of the Year, sponsored by Shoe. This is another new award this year, and retailers were asked to nominate their most valued footwear brand. Angus has the shortlist.
Yes, he does. I do. The top 4 hot contenders then are Base London, which represents guaranteed solid styling for the customer. Diesel, which keeps the brand fresh, alive and very much wanted. Oliver Sweeney, doing a fantastic job at the top end of the market. And finally Puma, which has seen a resurgence that's been nothing short of remarkable. And I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks that. To announce the winner, it's the merest pleasure to welcome Shoe's Managing Director, Colin Temple.
Shoe are pleased to announce that the footwear brand of the year is Puma.
Unfortunately, no one from Puma is here tonight. It's only a small company, tiny workforce, so their award will be graciously received by Richard Wharton of Office.
Congratulations there to Puma. Award number 8 is sponsored by James Lakeland, and it's for Designer Retailer for 2003. Angus has the shortlist at his fingertips.
We begin in Sheffield with Brother to Brother, a store described as designer heaven for men and a Premier League menswear shop. Then it's down the A637 to Chester to find Tessuti, which is very tuned into its local market with a refreshing mix of brands. Finally, bombing down the M1 to Woodhouse in Bluewater, which represents a complete repositioning and reinventing of the Woodhouse image. All worthy winners, but only one did. Here to tell us who, from James Lakeland, the great and good James Lakeland.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to present the Designer Retailer of the Year Award to Brother to Brother.
Collecting the trophy, Brother to Brother, are Andrew and Gavin Clark and friends.
Brother to Brother, a very focused store and one which enjoys a reputation far beyond Sheffield. It's time for another new award now for retail innovation. TNT Fashion Group is our sponsor, and our trio of finalists will be revealed by Angus.
Debenhams, if you'll pardon the expression, for its gift card. Then Faith Shoes for its employees' IT system. And finally Selfridges for its Body Craze promotion. Here to reveal all and tell us who the winner is. From TNT Fashion Group, it's Group Sales Director Peter Griffiths.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure, but we're not here to talk about that tonight, are we, Angus? TNT is delighted to present the award for retail innovation to Debenhams.
Picking up the prize, Debenhams Communications Director Hugh Bradley.
Congratulations to all at Debenhams there. Now we come to the award for smaller fashion multiple, which in our world is multiples with turnover of under 100 million a year. It's sponsored by Enterprise Ireland, and the finalists were finally reduced to these three. Angus.
Eric. Our smaller multiple contestants then are Jigsaw. That's all it takes. A tried and tested business with outstanding financial success. Reese, a chain which creates tremendous theatre and has taken risks to serve both men and women. Doesn't strike me as that risky, but there we are. And Republic, where a strong focus on staff training and marketing is driving an ambitious expansion programme. To reveal who the judges deemed most gorgeous, from Enterprise Ireland, please go mad for the Manager of Consumer Products UK, Mark Berman.
On behalf of Enterprise Ireland, I'm delighted to announce that the winner is Reese.
And here is the Managing Director, David Reese.
Congratulations to David Reese, whose drive and vision greatly impressed our judges. Significant retailers in their own region constitute our next shortlist in the Independent Department Store category, sponsored by Emrico International. There were 4 outstanding candidates, so we decided to include them all in the shortlist.
Yep, generous to a fault. So in no particular order, other than the one they're in, obviously, they are Macalini's in Ballybofey, County Donegal, which stocks every mainstream brand you've ever heard of and is the region's biggest employer. Rutherford's in Morpeth, a very confident 5th generation business where the customers are aged 18 to 80. Strange age restriction, but there you are. Voisin's of St Helier in Jersey, which understands exactly where it needs to be, which is in St Helier in Jersey, presumably. And Williams and Griffin of Colchester, which boasts very strong in-house marketing and has transformed the look of several departments. So there. Here to give us the lowdown is the Managing Director of Emrico International. Please give it up for Richard Reinhold.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Emrico International Limited, serving over 1,300 UK independents in the UK, I am delighted to announce that the Independent Department Store of the Year is McElhenny's.
Preparing to receive Managing Director John McElhinney.
Congratulations to McElhenney's, an outstanding store and one of the best presentations of all the entries this year, as it happens. We go up close and personal on the menswear brand of the year next. Drapers is looking after the sponsorship, and there were 4 heavyweight contenders. Angus will name the names.
The first of which is Armani, effortless, unstructured chic, according to my script. Next is Burberry, a quintessentially British brand enjoying a remarkable resurgence. Hugo Boss, whose innovative merchandise and faultless deliveries contribute to the brand's popularity. And completing this trip down Longacre, Paul Smith, a world-beating brand that's proved a favourite with retailers. To present the award, please go clinically insane for the Commercial Director of Drapers, the aptly named Ray Souters.
Good evening, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, the menswear brand for 2003 is Hugo Boss.
And the boss in question is Managing Director Hans Schmidt.
Congratulations there to Hugo Boss. We stay with menswear now as we investigate the runners and riders for the Independent Menswear Retailer of the Year, sponsored by Tommy Hilfiger. The final 3 on the shortlist are all in 3 separate islands. Angus will elaborate.
Louis Copeland is in Dublin on the Emerald Isle, a real destination store with fantastic levels of service. Next is Men's Club in St Helier, Jersey, widely regarded as a Channel Island. A bright, open, inviting store on 2 floors with a thriving hire business in between the 2 floors. Not sure how that works. And thirdly, Robert Ashworth of Reigate, in the very middle of Middle England. In the view of the judges, a great example of what a classic menswear retailer should be. So, to hand over the prize from Tommy Hilfiger, makers of black corduroy 3-piece suits for men, is their country manager, David Pine.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tommy Hilfiger is proud to announce that the winner of the Independent Menswear Retailer of the Year is Louis Copeland.
Picking up the award for Louis Copeland, Louis Copeland.
Well done to Adrian, Louis Jr. and Louis Copeland himself, the archetypal Irish charmer who never misses a trick. We have another brand award now, this time for Women's Wear Brand of the Year, sponsored by Pure. Again, 4 contenders force themselves onto the judges.
The first of those 4 being Basler, which scores highly for quality design, fit and value for money. Then there's Betty Barclay, a worldwide women's wear name with a reputation to match, followed by Jerry Weber, a brand that manages to adapt to younger customers whilst maintaining its original clientele, and lastly Olsen, a pioneering brand that goes from strength to strength, and so say all of us. Representing Pure Women's Wear, our sponsors, may they be rewarded in heaven, is the event director of EMAP Retail, Louise Young.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Pure, I'm delighted to announce the Women's Wear Brand of the Year is Basler.
accepting the trophy is Managing Director of CL Clothing, Christian Lavacek.
Women's wear brand for an unprecedented second year running. Well done to Basler. And after brand, we serve up the accolade for Independent Women's Wear Retailer of the Year, which is sponsored by Olsen. The judges began with 7 retailers on the long list and reduced it to 3 on the short list.
So a short list worthy of its name. Finalist number 1 is Cavell's of Oakham, described as bringing a London experience to Rutland. So the Hamilton Hall of the fashion world. Finalist number 2 is Jane Young of Newark, a destination store which has been in the Premier League since 1960s. So the Man United of the fashion world, only with slightly fewer drug addicts. And number 3 is last year's winner, Jeff's of Bold Street in Liverpool, where the owner has an inexhaustible energy for business and keeps telling his customers he's there. So obviously invisible as well. To tell us which of these 3 is going to feel just slightly smug in around 20 seconds' time, please welcome the Managing Director of Olsen, Pamela Prian.
Good evening. On behalf of Olsen, it gives me great pleasure to announce that the Independent Women's Wear Retailer of the Year for 2003 is Jane Young.
Making her way to the stage, the owner of Jane Young, Janet Wilkinson.
So congratulations there to Janet Wilkinson, whose motto is high-profile people are relying on us to get it right. Well done. It's a big award next, big in both in terms of prestige and of floor space. It's Department Store Retailer of the Year, for which the sponsor is Compability. As before, the shortlisted names will surprise nobody.
No, but I shall tell you who they are. First, Debenhams, which in the Dodge's view has taken a massive step forward and is a tremendous business development. Next is John Lewis, which remains a unique high street proposition with a very well organised website. And last but not least, Selfridges, which has had an eventful year in anyone's book and still continues to develop and set new standards. Here to give gong, all the way from Compability, their senior partner, Stephen Clarkson.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to tell you that the Department Store Retailer of the Year for 2003 is Debenhams.
Please welcome Debenhams Chief Executive Belinda Earle.
Many congratulations to Belinda and the team at Debenhams, a real mass market player. There are many entries for the 2003 Fashion Multiple of the Year, sponsored by Global Refund, and the judges were presented with a very long list of 9. With some ruthless pruning, this was reduced to a short list of these 5.
Of which the first, put simply, is Dorothy Perkins, which has undergone dramatic change and repositioning with what's viewed by some as a difficult name. Not as bad as Christian Lavacek. Monsoon, which, thank you for joining us, which continues to have a strong look and identity, described as a vibrant bohemian spirit. New Look, continuing to combine product excitement and competitive pricing. River Island, where the emphasis is on building a strong business and getting its systems exactly right. And Topshop, still setting the pace for other fashion chains and looking for ways to surprise the customer. The judges were looking at performance over the last 3 years, and to make the presentation, please give the warmest welcome possible, without breaching the public obscenity laws, to the Managing Director of Global Refund, Ian Yates.
Thank you very much. For the 4th year in a row, Global Refund and First Currency Choice are delighted to be sponsoring Drapers Records Awards. And I'm delighted to announce that the Fashion Multiple of the Year is Topshop!
Here to accept the winnings, Topshop's Merchandise Director, Mary Homer.
Many congratulations to all at Topshop, seen by the judges as having the potential to go on to the world stage, as opposed to this tiny London one in this tiny new venue. Right, our final retailer category is for the Independent Retailer of the Year. Again, our sponsor is Global Refund.
Now, there's no shortlist here because in what the judges called a heartfelt decision, which quite frankly stinks of corruption and backhanders, they've selected an overall winner whose identity is Ian. Whose identity is